Hello YouTube, it's me, T4 Wilderness, back again for part 2 of my end of month bot haul, the bot haul for August of 2025. Yes, so obviously yesterday you saw part 1. Because it's August and TF Nation, I decided to do, and I've got a massive haul this month, and decided to experiment, because it always causes a problem with my end of month bot hauls when I do the convention, because obviously I have the stuff I buy outside of the convention before and after, which makes up my usual sort of August haul, and then I plonk the massive TF Nation haul on top of it. And in previous years it's caused problems. You know, like I do my TF Nation haul video as a separate video, and then obviously I do my end of month bot haul, you know, at the end of the month, and it kind of messes things up. So this year I've decided to do a different tactic where I'm going to split the video in half. The video you saw yesterday, if you watched it yesterday, was the first was what I got before the convention and the stuff I got on the Saturday. Today is the stuff I get on the Sunday and the stuff I got after the convention. So that's the way I'm doing it. So this is part 2 of my end of month bot haul for this month. I've reloaded the table next to me with all the stuff I got in the second half of the month. So let's get cracking, shall we? So back to TF Nation. On Sunday, the 10th of August, obviously I did my usual thing, got up, had breakfast, waited around for a bit, and then queued up for the dealer room. I kind of had a couple of items that I was going to be looking out for on the Sunday that I'd sort of missed out on the Saturday, and so I started off by walking around to In Demand, and saw a figure that I missed out on the Saturday. Yeah, Takara Missing Link, what is it, C05 Sunstreaker, so G1 Sunstreaker with modern articulation. Wanted to get this. I'm a bit of a closet fan of Sunstreaker. I have got an original G1 one. It's a bit of a beater, but you know, well, not one it's one I picked up at a convention a few years ago. But then they said they was doing these Missing Link figures where they was giving them sort of modern articulation, and I thought, yeah, I'll have a go with that. So here we go. They had it. Now the price that In Demand was doing it was was it 75 quid or something like that? It was a very reasonable price. I was quite impressed with the price. I was expecting it to be like in the 90s, because these Missing Link figures tend to go for a lot of money. But yeah, I got him. Brilliant figure. I mean, I like Sunstreaker anyway, but you know, the way they've worked in the modern articulation by giving him like bicep swivels and ankle tilts, and hasn't got a waist joint because of the way he's engineered, but still, it's still good. It still can, and it can pull off the box art pose from the original box. In the original box art, they had that particular pose on the front of the box. This toy can do it. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you know, he's got got bicep swivels, got wrist rotations. He's got a knee. You know, it's decently posable for what it is, considering it's a G1 toy, which are known to be bricks. I'm really impressed with what they've done with this. Gives me sort of anyway, it gives me hope for future Missing Link releases. I mean, they're doing a Missing Link Ultra Magnus. I've just seen some of the early shots of it, and it doesn't look like it's got any articulation on the legs, so I might give that a miss. But still, got this guy, really like it, love this figure, and he was the first thing I got on the Sunday. Then next, I went over to Toy Fu, because I hadn't really bought anything off Toy Fu on the Saturday, so I decided to have a look on their stall on the Sunday, and I went over to the left-hand corner of their stall, and I noticed they had a couple of Webdivers figures. Now I've got some Webdivers figures in my collection. I've got Gladion, I've got Sharkon, I've got a Jaguaron, I've got the pirate ship one. And they had a couple on the stall. They had some loose ones. They had that Wyverian, which turns into like a prop plane that turns into a dragon. But unfortunately, it was broken. The propeller blades had broken off, and I think it was missing a few accessories. So I would have bought that otherwise, had it been a bit more complete. But they had another figure on their stall. Again, he's missing a few bits, but I decided to get him because he's got all his basic parts to form his sort of alt mode. I got this off Toyfu. So Webdivers W01 Jaguaron or Jaguarian. So it's basically a Jaguar, and managed to get this. Now this toy is an old toy. It's got a lot of rust in the pegs. It's very super stiff to transform. But the whole point of the Webdivers gimmick was the figure had the main Gladian guy had like a computer game console built into his chest, and the other characters could latch onto him and interact with him. So he's got like an infrared sort of emitter built into his head and a light up chest function, so you could actually use him to sort of play the game. I don't know whether that function still works. I've never tried it to work it on my original figure. But I decided to get this guy. Been after this guy for a while, I suppose. It's one of the Webdivers figures that I wanted to get. They did have some of the others there. They had, Kyberian. They had the pirate ship. They had two. They had a loose one and a boxed one, but I've already got the pirate ship, so I didn't need that. Or, no, Garrion or Galleon. And so decided to get that. Got that from Toyfu. So that was cool. And while I was there, it reminded me of another figure that I've been wanting to get, another G1 figure. So I went over to the middle of the table where all the G1 stuff was. And I looked around. I saw a couple of examples of this character, so I picked up and had a look at them. They were much of a muchness, but there was a big price difference between them. One of them was like 20 quid, and I think the other one was 40 quid. And one of them just had the propeller blade, and the other one had the gun. And I assume that's why the other one was more expensive. But in terms of quality, I think they were much of a muchness. But having bought broadsides, G1 broadsides earlier in the year, and I already had Sandstorm, I didn't have a Springer, so I decided to get me a Springer. So I found one on the stall from Toyfu, and I got myself a G1 Springer. He's worn. He's got a bit of decal wear and chrome wear. He's got super stiff joints, so transforming this guy is not great, but he does have the propeller blade, which forms his sword, which is the main thing. He does do his free modes mostly. Like I said, he's super stiff, and transforming this is a bit scary because all the joints are so stiff you think you're going to break something. Like the sliders are super stiff on it, and the arms are super stiff, and he's seizing up because of rust in the pins and over time. But that's what happens to some of these G1 toys. But I've got a Springer, so now I've got all the G1 triple changes. So I've got him from Toyfu. And then next, it was I started moving around then. Went back to see my mate James Lai at Maximil of Toys, because obviously I knew that this year was was probably going to be his last year at TF Nation. So I'll put it in my head that I wanted to buy a bunch of things off his stall. So I went round to his stall again on the Sunday morning and had a browse, and I spotted a couple of things, starting with this guy, Fansproject Function X Browning 2. So it's their highbrow. I've got quite a lot of the Fansproject Function X figures, and I hadn't got this one. When this one was announced, I looked at it and I wasn't too taken by it, so I sort of give it a pass. He had it, so I bought it. It's probably not one of the better Function X figures. The transformation's a bit fiddly, especially when you have to split one of the arms to form one of the legs to form the cockpit. It's alright, I suppose. I'm not a massive fan of highbrow. That's probably the reason why I passed on this guy previously. But anyway, so I managed to get him. I got him for a decent price from my mate James. And then the next figure. Now, a bit of a story behind this one. Last year, James came to an NEC Toy Fair with me. It was the Christmas one. And he came to experience the NEC Toy Fair, and he was absolutely blown away by how amazing it was, because obviously there was a reasonable smattering of Transformers toys, but it was all the other stuff that was there. But James, he blew a lot of money on and bought a lot of stuff. And one of the things he bought was a KFC Citizen Stack. That's the early Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. Now I came to the store just as he was looking at it, and he was looking at it, and I had already got a version of this mold. I'd got the Delta Magnus version of this mold, and so he was looking at, and it did look pretty good, and I was quite impressed with it. And he sort of offered it to me, and I said, no, if you want it, you have it. But later on, as I was walking round, I thought, you know what, I do want that thing. So now he had been looking for a G1 grapple. He'd found a couple, but they were a bit beaten up and missing parts. So I looked around the store and I found somebody selling a half decent, G1 grapple. It was a bit loose, but it had all its accessories, and it was in a plastic container. So I bought that for 40 quid. Now he paid 60 quid for the KFC Citizen Stack at the NEC Toy Fair. When I went back to him with the idea of doing a trade, I was going to say, right, I've got you a grapple. I will swap the grapple for the Ultra Magnus and give you 20 quid to cover the difference. He said, I'm sorry, mate. I've been onto the phone to my mate because he's an Ultra Magnus fan. I've told him I've got this, and he says he wants it. So he bought it on behalf of his mate. So that was that. I got lumbered with a G1 grapple that I didn't particularly want, and he didn't sell me the Citizen Stack that I passed over. Anyway, fast forward to TF Nation Sunday the 10th of August. It was on his stall. The very same figure that he bought from NEC Toy Fair last December. So I had a word with him. I said, well, what gives? I thought you bought this for your mate. And he says, well, my mate had a look at it, but it didn't quite fit what he wanted from it. He wasn't too impressed with it, so he didn't want it in the end. So James got lumbered with it. So it was on his stall, and James was trying to sell it. And when I expressed an interest in it, I says, well, if I'll buy it. Now, he had a price on it. I can't remember what it was, but James said, I'll tell you what, mate. He says, you can have it for exactly the same price I bought it from at the NEC Toy Fair. So he offered it me for 60 quid, which was the same price he paid for it at the NEC Toy Fair, which was fair enough. So I've got to put his missile launchers back on because I've just done some a fix on them because they were a bit loose. So there we go. KFC, Heavy Metal, Phase 3 Citizen Stack. Now this is a figure that came out over 10 years ago. I can remember going to Rollout Roll Call 2014 when this thing was brand spanking new, and a couple of people had it on their stall back then. But obviously this toy's getting on a bit now. It's an early third-party effort from KFC. It's very impressive. It's very big. It looks great. It's mostly coloured plastic. There's not much paint on it. However, it is very, a bit sort of creaky now that it's aged. It hasn't aged well. Some of the joints are a bit creaky. Transforming it, some of the pegs are a bit stiff. Some of the pegs are a bit loose. Bits come unpegged. It's quite a mission to transform it, but not impossible. But I'm a fan of Ultra Magnus, and I kind of wanted it. I've got the Delta Magnus version of this mold, which I prefer to have the proper Magnus version because I prefer Magnus to be in proper colours rather than the alternative Diaclone colours. But yeah, so I got this. like I said, I almost bought it back in December, but then I got it again in August. So thanks to James, I managed to get this thing eventually. It was quite an interesting anecdote to add to this figure, but it's got a bit of history now, one way or another, me purchasing this, so that's interesting. But there it is, the KFC Citizen Stacks. It's an interesting figure, but when you put it next to some of the more modern, sort of third-party Masterpiece renditions of Ultra Magnus, it does fall a bit short. But I've got the MP22, and James did have the fantastic model Marg, and he had the X-Trans bots one on his stall as well, both the proper one, and he had a transparent yellow one as well. I'd heard nasty things about the X-Trans bots one. I don't know about the Fans Toys or fantastic model Marg. I don't know whether I'm going to get it, but I've got this, so I've got a couple of Masterpiece Ultra Magnuses now. So thanks to James, I managed to get that guy. So that was a couple of things I got from James, but more on him later. Right, so getting along, blah blah blah, where were we? Yeah, right, so then I went round to Kapow, started looking at their third party Legends selection, and I saw a figure that I thought, well, yeah, I'm a fan of the character, so I'll get it. So I got Iron Factory, was it Dynamite Wrangler, what is it, Iron Factory IFEX64D. Basically, it's Outback. It's their Brawn mould, just repainted as Outback and remoulded a few bits. I'm a fan of Outback, a bit of a closet fan of Outback, especially that story in the Marvel G1 where Optimus went back to Cybertron, but Megatron put out some word that he was a phony, he was a faker, and the Autobots were attacking him, and then he found Outback out in the Outback, and sort of had a bit of a thing with him, an adventure with him, and yeah, so I'm a bit of a fan of Outback because of that reason. This figure though, it's another one of those that's too overly complex for its own good. The transformation has got a lot of twists and turns. It's got that aesthetic that Iron Factory do, and it's got a lot going on with this thing, an awful lot. It's very involved to transform, especially being a Legends figure, big sausage fingers trying to move like little tiny panels and stuff like that. It's, yeah. But it's still a decent figure, but like I said, a little bit too overcomplicated for its own good. But it's still a decent little figure, and I'm glad I got it because I'm a fan of the character Outback. So yeah, I got that from Kapow. Then what was it next? Right. Then I went over to Primetime Toys, and again was looking at the Legends selection they had, and I saw something and I thought, I'll get that. Galaxy Toys, yeah, Mini 04 statue at full speed. So basically it's Meng-Pi-Hu Studios. They've renamed themselves as Galaxy Toys. They did that amazing Beachcomber, and then they did an Optimus, which was a bit hit and miss. Then they did the Warpath, which is pretty good. And now they've done Silver Streak. Now I was looking on the box and thinking it was Prowl, but when I actually got it out, it's actually Silver Streak. Pretty decent. It's got quite a lot of die cast on it. I mean, the legs are the feet are die cast. I think the hood's die cast as well. It's same with the it's got lots of little peg joints. It's reasonably posable. It's got a waist joint. It's got most of the joints you'd expect, but it's a mini figure. It's sub Legends. I mean, like, put him next to Dynamite Wrangler. So this is a Legends figure, and this is something smaller. Yeah, I just bought it on the whim. Like I said, I'm quite interested to see where this Galaxy Toys is going to go, or Meng-Pi-Hu Studios as they were. They've got a Megatron that's just come out. I am getting that next month. They've got a mini Megatron gun format, which I'm so getting it. It's literally just been released this week, so I will be getting that next month. Yeah, I've got this. It's okay. It's all right. It's got a few minor issues, but it's a pretty decent little, sort of Micromaster, sort of Legion class, Silver Streak. That's right, Silver Streak. But I would have preferred it to have been Prowl, but it is what it is. So I got that. That's a pretty neat little thing. And then what did I do? Right, then I went over to Rohan's Corner, have a little browse. Now Rohan, obviously he does the mini con, he does the TF UK con, and he has a stall at TF Nation now, and he largely deals in sort of used loose figures mostly. Wide selection from G1 up to the modern day. He does have a few sort of boxed items on the back, but he's a decent chap. I've got to know him quite well at various conventions over the last couple of years, and I thought I'd look at his stall to see what he's got. And I saw something, and I sort of picked it up now to mess with it, and I thought, you know what, I think I'm going to go with that. Titanium War Within the Fallen. Right, so, yeah, I've got quite a few titanium figures in my collection, for better or for worse, because titaniums are, quite frankly, some of the worst transforming figures that have ever been made, what with one thing or another. They weren't built by the Transformers designers or toy team. They were built or made or designed by Galoob, the people who made Micro Machines. And it shows when you get a company or design team that's not from the Transformers franchise designing a Transformers toy, it causes problems. So the die-cast, the titanium series is heavily centered around die-cast, sort of figures. They're very heavy, but the jointage and the articulation is not up to par. And this thing, it's got quite a lot of looseness. It struggles to hold up its own weight. Bloody, bloody, bloody. But this figure, the Fallen, now it's based on the is it the Dreamwave version of the Fallen, I think. And up until that point, it was the only figure that was in that design. But now we've recently got the new Age of the Primes Fallen. So that's part of the reason why I bought this, because I want to buy it as a comparative with that new figure. But I've heard tell that this is one of the better titanium figures out there, but that's not saying much, to be honest. It's still a pretty bad figure in its own right, but it's still the Fallen, and it looks pretty cool. So decided to get this off Rowan's Corner. It's okay. It's floppy, loose, awkward jointage, transforms into a tank. What's not to say about it, really. But yeah, I went and got that from Rohan, so that was an interesting purchase. Let's just move this stuff around. Where are we at? Right, so now this next one, I've got a bit of a question as to who I actually bought it off. Now, I did see this figure on the in-demand stand. They definitely had it on the in-demand stand. But for some reason, I've got it on my little pocket list that I was writing down. I bought it from Kapow. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this. I think I might have bought it from Kapow, but I can't recall seeing this figure for sale on the Kapow store. So, yeah. I probably got momentarily confused when I wrote it down on my list. It should have been in demand, but I wrote it down as Kapow because Kapow and in demand are the two sort of mainstream, sort of online UK retailers in the UK. They both had pretty big stalls. I mean, in demand store was probably the biggest stall there. Kapow store was also fairly large. Whatever, I think I got my wires crossed for a moment there. But anyway, now. Yeah, so it's Takara T-Spark, what's it called? Synergenex Megatron Godzilla type. So basically it's a crossover with Transformers and Godzilla. But it's the Studio Series 86 Grimlock mold. They've repainted as Grimlock, and it transforms, and the robot mode is Megatron. So you've got three things there that I like. One, I'm a fan of Megatron. Two, I'm a very hard closet fan of the Godzilla and the Godzilla series, and also like Grimlock as well. So you've got those three things combined together to form this thing. Now, I was on the fence about getting this when it was announced, but they had it there on the stall, whether it be in demand or Kapow. I'm not 100% sure. I'm fairly certain I probably got it from in demand because they definitely had it on their stall, and I might have got confused when I wrote down my list, whatever. Anyway, This is supposed to be Godzilla. Being a fan of Godzilla, this figure seriously lacks things that make it Godzilla. Like the arms are way too thin. He hasn't got that iconic head, and he's missing, you know, the triangular sort of dorsal spikes down the back. This figure is officially licensed by Toho, the Japanese, you know, studio that owns the rights to Godzilla. So it would have been nice if Toho would have said to them and says, well, look, if it's going to be a rendition of Godzilla, you've got to make it look more like Godzilla. So they would have asked them to do a more Godzilla-like head, give him, you know, sort of thicker, bigger, chunkier arms, and then give him the dorsal spines going down his back. But they didn't, because being a Transformers mould, it's very expensive to make mould improvements or modify the moulds. And this thing, all they've done is they've just given it I think they've redone the chest slightly, and they've given it the Megatron head sculpt. It's a pity. So it falls way short of my expectations in alt mode. The robot mode is fine. I ain't got a problem with the robot mode. It's the alt mode. Now, DNA Design have announced that they're doing an upgrade set for this figure, which gives it a more, you know, Godzilla accurate head sculpt, and I know it gives you something in the way of, you know, sort of spines down the back. I will probably be getting that to fix this guy up to look more like Godzilla in alt mode. There we go. Yeah, so like I said, it isn't Godzilla enough in its alt mode for my taste, being a Godzilla fan. So that's, but I was curious to buy it because of the other reasons, because the Megatron link, the Godzilla link, and the Grimlock link. So that's why I bought it. But like I said, it's just disappointing that they didn't go whole hog on the Godzilla theming on this. They've put lots of sort of paint apps to simulate his scales and give it some sort of like, you know, sort of like almost like a energy flash around the back of the neck when he's trying to power up for a, you know, for when his attacks. But anyway, so I bought that from somebody. I'm not 100% sure who I bought it from. Probably in demand, but I put it down on my list as being Kapow, which might have been a mistake. But there we go. I actually bought this thing. Right, so then moving along, wandered around the dealer hall a couple of times, was looking on various stalls to see if anything was taking my fancy, because I pretty much had all the stuff I wanted, and now it was like I was like freewheeling now and just picking up things that sort of took my fancy. And then I went round to the Space Bridge and was looking at the figures they had in their glass cases. They've still got that TFCC Impactor for £100. I want that figure, but I don't want it that badly. I had enough money, I could have bought it, but it would have blew what was left of my budget for the day buying it. Anyway, so I was having a look in the glass cases, and I saw a figure in the glass case, and I thought, actually, I'm quite curious about that mould. So I bought it. Universe 2.0 Deluxe Beast Wars Dinobot. So in the Universe toy line, it was riddled with sort of like, you know, Unicron trilogy repaints for the most part, but they also did a few original molds, brand new molds, and they sort of revisited the Beast Wars to some extent. So we got this. I was curious to see how this mould worked. I mean, I've got an original Dinobot. I've got the Kingdom Dinobot. So I'm interested to see how this guy worked. So I bought it with that intent. It's all right. It's an okay figure. Obviously, he's got the tail that turns into the spinny weapon. Also, he's got the sword, which is a bit lackluster, to be honest. But it's Dinobot. You know, it's Dinobot. So I decided to get it. It's an interesting version of the mould. So I got that from the Space Bridge. Then I went back to Junk Shop Japan. Now, I did my final purchase with them yesterday. or on the Saturday, but on the Sunday I decided to go around and have a good look at their store to see what else they'd got. Now, one thing going into this convention that I was keen to get into or buy was something from the Takara Wild King toy line. Now, you've seen the the animation series they've been putting up on YouTube, the Wild King, and they've got all these figures that they've been releasing. That toy line's going pretty wild. It's kind of like a kids show, for want of a better term. But I wanted to get some of the the Wild King figures, and I was looking to get Megatron and hopefully some of the the Energy Beast or Spirit Beasts, like Light Long, definitely the Spinosaurus, and a few other figures. Now, I was hoping that Junk Shop Japan, or Junk Shop Japan USA as they was calling themselves at this convention, would have a lot of stuff in the background, but they didn't have much boxed Japanese exclusives. It was largely sort of loose stuff they had on the table, but on the side table they did have a few Wild King figures. Now, they had the Optimus and the Megatron boxed up side by side, and they were saying they were doing the pair for 90 quid. So I asked them, I says, any chance you could sell the Megatron separately? So they begrudgingly agreed to sell me the Megatron separately. So I got Wild King Megatron from Junk Shop Japan USA, and there he is. So I've now dipped my toe into the Wild King toy line. He's a bit basic, this guy. He hasn't got any much in the way of intermediate articulation. The gimmick is largely around sort of like the swap and change gimmick of the figure. Like you can pull the arms off and plug things on. And I will say, now this double pegging system that they've got, they're quite shallow, the pegs, and his arm, his right arm is getting loose, and it was a used figure. It was boxed with all its accessories, but anyway, so there he is. There's Wild King Megatron. So I got him. He was 50 quid from the Junk Shop Japan USA store. So I finally got a figure from that line. Then I wandered back to In Demand and was looking at their box stuff they had on the tables out the back. And I saw one figure that it was the last one they had left. And I was looking at it, I picked up the box, I was looking at the picture of the figure on the box, the CGI render of the character from the movie, and the the actual toy. And I thought, it looked pretty good. I've got the Prime Changer version of this, so I don't really need this character, but I decided to go for the Studio Series version. The big bad from Transformers 1, Sentinel Prime. So this is the Studio Series Voyager. It's an interesting figure. It's all right. He's got quite the backpack for the wings going on. Does look pretty screen accurate in robot mode. He's also got that super mode which he can transform into when he powers up for the fights. He gets like his extended toes. He gets a face mask and these bits pop out from his legs. Like mortar things or whatever. So yeah, he's got gimmicks. He's all right. He looks pretty cool. Alt mode is typical plane former, plane on top, a scrunched up robot underneath. He's also got super long legs, and as I said in my haul video before, when I see this guy, I can't help thinking of that Hazy Fantasy song, John Wayne is Big Leggy, whenever I see these guys' legs, because he's got absolutely massive legs. And of course, when you give him his powered up mode, hang on. You give him his powered up mode. He's got these. He stands on tiptoes to make himself a bit taller. Yeah, so it's all right, I suppose. Like I said, I've got the Prime Changers one, and I was quite happy with that. But decided to get this one at the convention on a whim, and it was the last one that In Demand had in stock on the Sunday morning. So I went and got him. Now this next one, I can't believe I found this. And yesterday, I mentioned in my haul yesterday that I found a figure on the In Demand store Generation Selects Hot Shot. I managed to see it and pluck it off the stall, you know, off the counter, and I was quite impressed that I'd noticed it and no one else had, though it was early doors on the Saturday, so maybe not enough people had been around and checked those Generation Selects box figures that they had on their stall. Anyway, this figure. Now, also in yesterday's video, you saw that I got a Holy Grail. That the second item I got on Saturday, the 2nd of August, I got, you know, that Perfect Fusion PF01 Cesium, which was a Holy Grail that I've been after for years. But this next figure is also, I would say, a minor Grail or a regular Grail that I've been hunting for a number of years. And it's a repaint of a mould I've already got. Like I've got the original ones here. So there's one. And there's another. Now these are scrap metals. So in the Transformers Cybertron show, in the latter part of the series, these things came out, like there was like a plague of these things like locusts. They were crawling all over Cybertron, you know, cities and just munching metal and making a big nuisance of themselves. They're kind of like scraplets, but you know, they're not. They're sort of like they transform into like spider tanks. They have like little robot modes. They're like scout class figures. They have a Cyber Planet key gimmick where you plug the thing in and a sword pops out. They're neat little things, but they came in 3 varieties. There was the yellow ones, the red ones, and the blue ones. Now the yellow and red ones were readily available in the West. They were sold in Europe. They were sold in Australasia. They were sold in USA. They were readily available, but the blue one was a Japanese exclusive. It never got sold anywhere else but Japan. It's very rare, and you just never see them. And when you do see them, they go for horrendous amounts of money. So I've got the normal sort of scraplets. Well, they're scraplets, or they're in the Japanese Galaxy Force. They're called Ramble, but Ramble Blue, Ramble Red, Ramble Yellow. You know, and but they're called scraplets in the Cybertron show. So I've got the other 2. And I was wandering past the Toy Foo stall, and I was looking at the things they'd got perched on top of the boxes they had at the back. And I saw something, I thought, no way, they haven't got one of those. And I went up and I looked at the price tag on it, and it was 50 quid. And I thought, it's expensive. But then I did the quick thing in my head. Well, I know how rare this thing is, and exclusive it is. And if I wanted to buy one from Japan, I would be paying well in excess of the price tag that this thing's going for at the convention. And it's here. Now, it wasn't complete. It's missing the Cyber Planet key, and it's missing one of the trim pieces. But the blue one? Are you joking me? Again, this, I don't know how long this was on the Toy Foo store, and I don't know whether anybody else saw it and disregarded it when they saw the price tag that was on it for 50 quid. A lot of money for a little thing like this. But, like I said, this is the Japanese exclusive blue scraplet, or Ramble. And I've got the full set, baby. I've got all 3 of them. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Amazing. Does anybody realise how rare and exclusive and expensive this thing is? I don't think they did. They probably saw it on the Toy Foo store and disregarded it when they saw the price tag. But I knew what it was, and it sort of used up the last of my money that I had on the dealer hall on the Sunday to buy this thing. 50 quid. Like I said, he's missing the Cyber Planet key, and he's missing that little trim piece. That little grey trim piece there. It's missing it. So it's not complete, but I still wanted to get it because it's a blue scraplet, and I've been wanting one of these for years. So technically, this month I got 2 of my Grail figures. This isn't a holier than thou Grail, but it's a minor Grail. But I was still wanting one of these for donkey's years, and now I've finally got one, and I've got. Hang on. I've got all 3 of the scraplets now. I've got all 3 of them. I've got the yellow one, the red one, and the blue one. And the blue one is the rare exclusive one. That's a Japanese exclusive. And I got it. And I'm absolutely over the moon that I actually got one of these. And I would say, of all the things I got at the convention, this is the thing I'd probably like the most for that reason. So yeah, I finally got it. A blue scraplet. So that was my money gone, pretty much. I think I had £2 left in my wallet, but I wasn't prepared to spend it. So that was me spent. But it wasn't the end of stuff I got at the convention. I'm walking around. I sort of went back to the car and took some stuff back to the car. And then when I was walking down the corridor from the dealer hall to the bar, I happened upon Jermaine and what's his name? F-Stop Cornea. I came across those guys and I had a quick chat with them. And then Mr. TF Raw came rocking past and stopped to have a quick natter. And so yeah, the guy I got that art pack from in the bar on the sort of the Friday night, it was him again. And we had a bit of a chat. Oh yeah, it was Dean. Yeah, it was Dean, Jermaine, me, and Andy. So we were having a bit of a conflab in the corridor, and then Andy gropes into his bag again. He says, "Here, do you want one of these?" And he pulls out this box. I haven't got the box; it's in the other room. And he hands it to me, and it was a promotional item for Dark of the Moon, and it was this. So this is a hybrid holder from Dark of the Moon. Basically, it's a 4GB USB stick that's got like a belt clip, so you can clip it on your belt. And he handed me one. He gave one to Dean, and he gave one to Jermaine as well. So he was handing these out as freebies. So thanks, thanks Andy. Thanks again. I have actually used it. I have actually used it to do the transfer the video footage on one of my unboxing videos this month. So I have actually used this for what it's intended for file transfers. It's only 4GB, so it's of limited use when you're transferring sort of HD video files, because they tend to be a bit fat and heavy with data, which is too much for one of these to handle. But I have actually used it, so it has come in useful. So that was that. And then Mr. James Lai, Maximilian of Toys, he said to me when I bought those bits earlier on, he says, "Come back and see me at the end of the event, end of the dealer hall session at 4 o'clock. I might have something for you." So I was wandering around the dealer hall, and it was clocking on for 4 o'clock, and I thought, let's go over and see James. So I went over and see James, and of course he was in his stall in the last sort of moments before the close of trading on the Sunday. And he asked me something. He says, "You're a fan of Optimus Prime, aren't you?" And I says, "Well, no, not really. I'm not a fan of Vanilla Optimus Prime particularly. I prefer my Optimuses to get repainted as Nemesis or Ultra Magnus." He goes, "Oh, well, what about Optimus Primal from Beast Wars?" And I says, "Yeah, he's all right. He's okay." So then he gropes under his table and pulls out this massive box. And in it was this thing. Now this is Takara Rise of the Beasts Awakened Optimus Primal. So it's a bigger than, because this is bigger than the leader Studio Series Leader Class figure that they did. This is bigger than that, and this thing's got a lot of gimmicks built in. It's got the flip out sort of wrist guns. He's got his shoulder mounted cannons, which also double up as a backpack. It comes with the sword. I don't know if it came with the beast mask or whatever it is, but it's got a lot of gimmicks. It's quite heavy. It's reasonably posable. It's a big chunky monkey, and yeah. So James gave me this. Now he had it on his stall for 45 quid, but he just gifted me one. And obviously this is my last time getting something off James at a TF Nation, probably. So it's the last time he's going to be doing a stall on TF Nation. But yeah, so yeah, it was the last thing I got off him, and he gifted it to me. And James, like I said, I've known James live for 10 years. I met him at Auto Assembly 2015 when I bought Toy World Hegemon, and then in the afternoon I bought the Justy Toys WST Dinobots. They're all in the detail here. The WST Dinobots are there, and Hegemon is there. So they're in the details. So yeah, those figures that I got in 2024, and ever since then, I've been he's been a good mate of mine. I mean, we did the Rollout Roll Call 2016 at the Radisson Blue Edwardian Hotel in Heathrow. We did that weekend. Also at I came on his stall with Dave Knight of Dave's Corner, and I was selling the Tom Henson Botlot figures on the Maximilov toy stall at TF Nation 2016. So yeah, I've had a bit of a thing going with him. He's a good mate. I don't see or hear from him that often, but you know he's always been there. And like I said, he went to the NEC Toy Fair in December, and I think he's planning on doing it again this year. But as regards as a dealer at TF Nation, I think he's retiring now, and you know I've had a good run with him over the last sort of 10 years. You know, COVID years notwithstanding. But yeah, so James gave me this for free because he's such a buddy, such a pal, such a mate, such a legend. Why? But yeah, it's a really cool figure, and thanks for James for giving me that. So that was TF Nation. But there's still a few more bits on the table because there was stuff that I got after TF Nation. So moving along. Next, it was my Korean purchases, which arrived on the 11th, which was the Monday after TF Nation. Starting with this guy, Tobot Ken, or Tobot 2025 Ken. He transforms into Hyundai Grandeur, I think. He's basically, you know, I don't know whether he's a successor to Tobot Taekwon K from the original Tobot show, but he is sort of into his sort of martial arts, and I think he's into kendo, judging by the fact he's got a sword. In fact, this is basically like a beam saber in the show. Decently posable, nice tall bot, and yeah, he's pretty cool. And I did a review on it. Unfortunately, that review didn't do very well. Now, I've gone on the analytics and I've looked at the viewing figures. So after 24 hours, it had 16 views. After 2 days, 25 views. After 3 days, 30 views. 4 days, 32 views. 5 days, 32 views. 6 days, 33 views. And that carried on to the 10th day, where it still had 33 views. And then on the 11th day, it picked up another view. Another 2 views on the 12th day. It was on 37 views after 13 days. And after 2 weeks, it was on 43 views. So, very disappointed by the viewing figures on that video. And as a result, you know, I looked at that video, I looked at the viewing figures on it when I was preparing to do the review of this next figure I'm going to show you. And it was like my heart sank. It's so, you know, disappointed me, and any aspirations of doing the video just left me, and it was like a wave of apathy just spread over me. And it was like, if people can't be bothered to watch my video reviews, then I can't be bothered to make them. So as a result of which, you haven't seen a review on this thing yet because I haven't done it. So yeah, until further notice, all Korean toy reviews are postponed and on hold, because the review on this has done so badly that I'm waiting for this thing to get to 100 views. So I'm talking to my viewers out there, come on guys, give the review for this thing some love and go on there. You don't have to watch the whole thing, just click on it, watch the intro, click off, give it some views, and when it gets to 100 I might think about reviewing this next figure. Because like I said, I don't do YouTube for fun. I don't do it for money. I'm not monetized. Even though you will see adverts on my videos, that's nothing to do with me. That's not my doing. That's YouTube creaming money off the back of my videos. It's nothing to do with me. I buy these things. I think of myself as a public service, reviewing these things for people out there who might be interested in buying into them. They are difficult and expensive to purchase from the other side of the world. I do it so you don't have to. That's my reason for doing them. And also I do videos for views. And I'm not getting the views. So it's just, I'm just downhearted, you know. So yeah, if you want to see me do a review on this, give this figure some love, get it over 100 views, and then I might think about doing a review on this. And tomorrow I'm buying even more Korean toys. I don't know what I'm going to get. There's some more, like there's the new Tobot C I'm looking at getting. I might even get the original Tobot C and do a twofer on those. But anyway, Tobot Sonic, another figure from the season 3 of the new Tobot 2025 show. He's all right. He's a footballer, so he comes with a football. His choroid, you can split the and it becomes like a wheelchair or you know, what are those battery powered Segway. Yeah, it basically becomes a Segway. So yeah, he can do that. I'm showing you this because I haven't done the review on it. So there you go. He's reasonably posable. He's a baller, he's a footballer, so you know, he has the ball and he uses it for his attacks in the show. He's a pretty cool big bot, but like I said, I haven't done a review on it yet because I'm sulking for want of a better word, because of getting poor viewing figures on my last Korean toy review. So yeah, there you go guys. I can't be bothered to make the videos if people can't be bothered to watch them. It's as simple as that. It's logic. So anyway, moving on. That arrived on the 14th, by the way, Tobot Sonic. Then an eBay no, it was that it was yeah, eBay purchase. That was it. After getting this guy, I thought I want to get some more of this Wild King stuff. So I looked on eBay, and the prices of them are all over the place. Especially the spirit animal figures, which aren't very big, and they go for silly amounts of money. I admit it's a new toy line that's not long come out, and I think, you know, it's got the artificial price hikes because of that. And they're going mad with the release schedule. They release every time they do a new episode of the show. They reveal some new figure that they've released, and it's like every week they're bringing out new stuff. But anyway, I knew they were doing black repaints of Megatron and the Optimus, so I could have got the black version of this at TF Nation, but I passed on it and got the regular version. But Nemesis version of the Optimus mold. So I went on to eBay. I found a seller in Japan who was selling it, and it comes in a 2-pack with one of the spirit animals, or you know, the what they called energy beasts. And so I bought it. So I got the Nemesis. So yeah, it arrived from Japan pretty quick actually. Yeah, so I got him, and obviously he's got the thing for plugging in the power-ups, and obviously put the two of them side by side. And yeah, so, and again, these toys aren't the most articulated things. It hasn't got any ankle tilts. It has got an upper torso rotation, but no waist joint. No thigh swivels. It has got a bicep rotation. It's quite tight up there. Obviously, the whole gimmick is the plug and play with the different figures. So you've got the double ports are all over the place. But yeah, I wanted it because it's Nemesis. You know, it's a black Optimus. Wanted it, got it. So he's pretty cool. And he came with one of the spirit animals. Now this guy is called Lavamulator, I think, and he's like a Red Bull. And so there he is, and he's got his he's got like his fire crest. So he's a fire beast. And this guy can plug on as an arm or a leg, or you know, as a gun. You can use them as guns as well. You know, they're quite. I mean, they're absolutely riddled with 5mm ports all over the place. And the moulds themselves are fairly standard. You know, it's got the basic sort of skeleton, and then the only things that are different is the maybe some of the limbs might be changed out, and a different coloured paint, and a different head sculpt. Again, reasonably articulated in some ways, but not in others. But I do want to get more of these things. I do want to get more of the energy beast or spirit animals, so that I can kit out both my Megatron and my Optimus with a full set of power-ups. So that's what I'm planning on doing. But it's going to be a very long, expensive process, because these things go for an absolute fortune, some of them. I mean, we're talking, you know, selling them on eBay for like, sometimes they're asking like 35, 40 quid for plus postage for something that is, you know, less than a deluxe. It's about a scout class size figure. It's like, yeah, that's a lot of money really for what it is. But I am interested in getting deeper into the Wild King thing. And a couple more things just to finish off. eBay purchase. Now this one, last year at TF Nation on the Sunday, I went over to the Primetime Toys store and was looking to buy Reximus Prime off Greg, and unfortunately I didn't have enough cash left in my convention budget to afford it, so I had to decline the offer. And I felt really bad about letting Greg down by not buying the figure that he'd gone to the trouble of getting the box out and opening it to show me it, you know. And yeah, I had to let him down, and I felt really bad about that. But then when I got home, I realised that I had enough money left in my monthly bot budget that I could have afforded it, but I didn't think to do that at the convention. Anyway, since then I've been contacting, you know, Primetime Toys. Have you got, you know, Reximus Prime? I want to buy one off you. And they didn't have one at the TF UK Con or the Minicon, and they didn't bring one to TF Nation this year. So I didn't manage to get one up through them, but I still wanted it. So I went on to AliExpress, looked around, found a seller selling it, bought it, and it arrived on the 19th. So there we go. Reximus Prime. It's a fourth party or KO upscale of the Masterpiece Grimlock. In fact, I've got my Masterpiece Grimlock just over here. So where did I put him? Where is he? Oh no, he's down here. That's right. Now I showed this guy. I showed this guy yesterday as part of my Masterpiece Dinobots that I was showing you, but that's quite the upgrade. I mean, Reximus Prime basically makes the MP Grimlock look like a Voyager. Look at that. Look how big he is. That's a huge size difference. I've gone for the shiny version, and he's got all the shininess going on. It's definitely a KO. The build quality, the fit and finish on it isn't anywhere near as good as the official figure, but it's still amazing. And the reason I bought it is because looking at my other Masterpiece Dinobots I've got, this guy just falls way short, you know, compared to you know, Gigapower's Gravitar, compared to you know, Cesium, compared to Sever. He falls up way short. He's okay against the swoop, but against the others he's just not up to it. So that's why I decided to go for this upscaled, you know, Masterpiece, you know, KO Masterpiece Grimlock. It's heavy, it's big. It has got the oh, it's not working. It does have the light up gimmick in the arm. It's got the swappable eyes gimmick. It's got all the gimmicks that the original toy had, pretty much. But yeah, so the reason I bought it is because I wanted an upgrade for my Masterpiece Grimlock to go with my other Masterpiece Dinobots. Now I've got a full set, so that was the reason why I bought it. Like I said, it's a massive upgrade. It's nice and shiny, but the build quality, the fit and finish on it is definitely KO quality. So there we go. I got him. And then the final thing, went onto eBay with a little bit of money I had left and bought a spare part. Cyber Planet key for a Scrapmetal. So getting back to these guys, I've got all the Scrapmetals, but none of them have got Cyber Planet key. So I went on to eBay and I found somebody selling a Scrapmetal Cyber Planet key, which is a transparent key with a Decepticon sigil, but the paint's worn off, so you can't see it. But basically, there we go. That's that one, and then this one. That's got stuck. Let's do that again. It's obviously a bit... That's better. Right, so there we go. And of course, where's he gone? There's a blue one. What do I do with him? There he is. And of course the blue one. There we go. So I've decided, now I've got one Cyber Planet key for my Scrapmetals, the blue one's going to get it because it's the most valuable and exclusive version. And also, while I'm at it, he's missing that trim piece there. I've decided I'm going to take the trim piece off the red one and put it on the blue one to make it complete. And there we go. So my blue Takara Galaxy Force Ramble, aka Scrapmetal, is now complete. He's got the trim piece and he's got Cyber Planet key, so he's all intact. So that is that. That is my haul. It's gone over an hour. Yeah. Now, if you'd added this to yesterday's video, this video would be 1 hour 55 minutes. That's the reason why I split them up. Because, I mean, who would want to sit through a 2-hour video of me yapping and chatting about what I bought this month? So, that said, right. First and worst. Now, I didn't do it yesterday because that was just the first half of the haul. The second half. Now, trying to think. Right, you just have to give me a moment. Right, okay, I'm ready now. Right, First and worst. So I think it had to be this guy being the best item I got this month, because Holy Grail. It's a masterpiece Dinobot. So it ticks a lot of boxes in that regard, as regards to when you put it next to everything else I got this month. It's a masterpiece Dinobot. It's big, it's heavy, it's fans toys quality. I've been after it for years. There we go. That's why it's my top bot of the year, my first bot for this month. And then the worst is this thing, and it's due to the transformation. The transformation was purgatory to transform this thing. It was awful. It was terrible. It was insanely, I can't really describe it how bad it was. I mean, it took me like easily the best part of 1 3/4 to an hour to transform it from robot mode to alt mode, and I wasn't using instructions as I usually do. It was a Voyager discovery, as I always do, and it was hellish. It really was, and because of that reason, that's why this is the worst bot I got this month. Now I have got, because I've got a massive haul this month, I've got a couple of honourables. So honourable mentions. Yeah, Missing Link Sunstreaker. Really like this thing. It's an awesome little figure. Decided to give that an honourable nomination. And another Grail figure I got this month that I'm absolutely amazed that I managed to find one. The blue Scraplet from Toy Fu on the Sunday. Couldn't believe I found this, and it is, you know, insane collection, insane purchase. I absolutely love the fact that I managed to get hold of one of these. So that's my honourable mentions, and I have got a dishonourable mention as well. This thing that I got from In Demand on the Saturday, the Flip and Change Bumblebee. Yes, it was a freebie, so I can't really criticise it because of that, but again, there's no way I would have bought this thing. It's Bumblebee, it's a flip changer. I mean, the paint and the moulded detail on this thing is severely lacking, and it's a crappy little gimmick toy, so that's the reason why it's a dishonourable. So that's it. That's my haul video wrapped up. Put a little bow on it. For better or for worse, two-parter, spread over 2 days. So yeah, hopefully you guys have persevered with it. It's been a massive undertaking, huge haul, massive videos, both of them. So now that that's done, we move on to another month. Obviously, game starts again tomorrow. I will be buying some Korean figures. Whether I will be reviewing them remains to be seen, because obviously very disappointed at the viewing figures that this thing got. Come on guys, give the review of this some love. It needs to get to 100 views. When it does, I will resume Korean toy reviews. But it was probably the YouTube algorithm that hates me. That's probably the reason why it got poor viewing figures. They're not pushing my videos out to my subscribers as they should, but whatever. And yes, I'll be buying my Korean toys tomorrow, and there's definitely that Galaxy toy Megatron. I'm definitely going to be pulling the trigger on that tomorrow as well. So with that said, I've been TFI Wilderness. Hopefully you've stuck with it. this double-barreled haul video that I've done this month. I'll see you next month with more unboxings, another bot haul, maybe some Korean toy reviews. Don't know, that remains to be seen. The power is yours. You can make that happen. So I've been TFI Wilderness. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.